Every great success story begins with a dream, but a dream without effort is just a fantasy, and effort without faith feels empty. When you walk with God in your heart, your dreams gain wings, your work gains meaning, and your struggles gain purpose. Today, let us reflect on how we can dream big, work hard, and never give up, no matter what life places before us. Each of us has been blessed with a unique spark by God. That spark is the seed of a dream. But dreams are not fulfilled just by wishing. They demand sweat, perseverance, and above all, faith in the one who gave us life. When storms come, and they will, what keeps us going is our conviction that God's plans are greater than our fears. Today, I want to share how we can align our dreams with divine strength, how to work tirelessly yet peacefully, and how to rise again and again without ever giving up. When we talk about dreaming big, it is very important to understand one thing: not every dream is the same. Some dreams come from our ego, some from our desires, and some from our fears. But the most powerful dreams, the ones that can change not only our lives, but the lives of others around us, are the dreams that are aligned with God's purpose. You see, every one of us is created with a unique design. No two people in this world are the same. Our fingerprints are different. Our voices are different. Our talents are different. That difference is not a coincidence. It is God's way of telling us, you have a role to play that no one else can fulfill. When your dream is only about yourself, it might give you temporary happiness. You may achieve wealth, you may achieve fame, you may achieve power, but deep inside, you will still feel empty if your dream does not connect to a higher purpose. For example, think about a student who dreams of becoming a doctor. If the dream is only about money, then success will feel shallow. But if the dream is connected to God's purpose, if the dream is about healing others, saving lives, serving humanity, then every late night of study, every sacrifice, every struggle becomes meaningful. The same studies that felt like a burden suddenly turn into acts of service to God. In daily life, we often hear people say, "Follow your passion." But passion without direction can mislead you. You might end up chasing things that bring short-term pleasure but long-term regret. That is why before chasing a dream, we must ask, does this dream serve only me, or does it also serve others? Because when it serves others, it automatically serves God. God does not need our money, our fame, or our achievements. What pleases Him is when we use what He has given us, our skills, our time, our energy, for something that uplifts others. Let's take another example. Imagine a person who loves cooking. He could dream of becoming a famous chef just to gain recognition. But another person with the same talent could dream of feeding the poor, teaching healthy living, or spreading joy through his cooking. Which dream do you think carries more blessings? The second one, because it is aligned with service, with kindness, with a divine purpose. And here lies the secret. When you dream with God's purpose in your heart, the universe supports you. Opportunities come your way, people help you, and your inner strength grows because your dream is bigger than yourself. Now, aligning your dream with God's purpose doesn't mean it has to be something grand like starting a huge charity or becoming a world leader. It can be as simple as being the best parent, the most honest worker, the kindest friend, or the most disciplined student. Greatness is not about size, it is about intention. If your dream is to build a business, let that business create jobs, let it bring fairness, let it bring service to people. If your dream is to become an artist, let your art inspire people, let it bring peace, let it connect people to beauty. Even small actions, when connected with a higher intention, become great in the eyes of God. But here is the challenge: how do we know if a dream is aligned with God's purpose? The answer is simple. Look at the fruits of that dream. Does it make you greedy, selfish, and restless? Or does it make you generous, kind, and peaceful? A dream aligned with God's will always gives you inner peace, even before it is fulfilled. You feel inspired when you think about it, and you feel motivated to work hard for it without being forced. That is the beauty of divine alignment. It creates joy in the journey, not just in the destination. Think about a farmer. When he plants a seed, he doesn't know exactly how many fruits it will give. But he plants with faith, he waters the soil, he protects it, and he trusts the process. In the same way, when you align your dream with God's purpose, you may not know how far it will go, how many lives it will touch, or how big it will become. But your responsibility is to plant the seed, to water it with hard work, and to trust that God will make it grow in ways beyond your imagination. There will be times when people laugh at your dream. They may say it is too big, too unrealistic, or not practical. But if your heart knows it is pure, if your heart knows it is connected to God, then do not give up. Because remember, people laughed at Noah when he built the ark. People doubted scientists when they dreamed of reaching the moon. People even mocked leaders who wanted to change society. But those who were aligned with a higher purpose never gave up, and their dreams transformed the world. In your own life, whenever you face doubt about your dreams, pause and ask yourself, am I doing this only for myself, or is there a deeper purpose behind it? That question alone can save you from wasted years of chasing hollow ambitions. When you answer honestly, you will feel either emptiness or fulfillment. Follow the path that gives you fulfillment, even if it looks harder at first, because that is the path where God walks with you. So, dream big, but don't dream only for yourself. Dream in such a way that when you achieve it, others benefit. Work hard, but don't work blindly. Work with intention, with sincerity, and with gratitude. And above all, never give up, but make sure that what you are holding onto is worth holding. A dream aligned with God's purpose is always worth holding, always worth working for, and always worth sacrificing for. Because in the end, when your dreams serve others, they also serve God, and nothing in this world is more powerful than that. Every person has dreams. Some dream of becoming successful in their career, some dream of building a happy family, some dream of creating a business, and some dream of touching lives through their talent. Dreams are beautiful. They give us direction, they give us hope, and they give us the courage to move forward. But dreams alone cannot take us anywhere. A dream without discipline is like a ship without a compass. It drifts, it wanders, and it never reaches its destination. Discipline is the invisible bridge that takes you from the land of imagination to the land of achievement. Let's imagine a student who dreams of becoming a top scholar. His vision is clear. He wants to excel. He wants to achieve greatness, and he wants to make his family proud. But every night, when it's time to study, he spends hours scrolling on his phone, chatting with friends, or sleeping late. His dream is alive in his heart, but his actions are disconnected from that dream. Without discipline, that dream will remain nothing but a wish. Now, imagine another student with the same dream. She sets her routine, dedicates fixed hours to her studies, avoids distractions, and sacrifices temporary pleasures for long-term goals. Over time, her discipline transforms her dream into reality. This is the difference. Discipline is not about how big your dream is, it is about how consistent your actions are. In daily life, many people admire successful individuals but very few admire the discipline behind their success. We see the medals an athlete wins, but we don't see the countless hours of practice, the strict diet, the early mornings, and the sweat behind those victories. We enjoy the music of a great musician, but we don't see the years of practice, the endless repetition, and the discipline required to perfect every note. We respect a leader who stands tall in front of millions, but we don't see the discipline of reading, learning, and preparing for years in silence. Success is never an accident. It is the fruit of discipline planted in small actions every single day. Discipline also protects us from distractions. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, entertainment, gossip, and endless desires constantly pull our attention away. Without discipline, we end up wasting time on things that don't add value to our lives. But when you are disciplined, you build a shield around yourself. You know what to say yes to, and more importantly, what to say no to. Saying no to laziness, saying no to time wasting, saying no to unhealthy habits. That is the true power of discipline. Think of discipline as a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. At first, it feels uncomfortable. Waking up early feels tough. Exercising daily feels exhausting. Studying consistently feels boring. Saving money instead of spending feels restrictive. But just like exercise strengthens the body, discipline strengthens the mind. And once you experience the results, discipline no longer feels like a burden. It feels like freedom. Freedom from regret, freedom from wasted time, and freedom from failure. There is a deep spiritual dimension to discipline as well. When you practice discipline, you honor the life God has given you. God has blessed us with time, energy, and talents. If we waste them, we disrespect His gift. Discipline is a way of showing gratitude to God. It says, I value the time you gave me, I value the energy you gave me, and I will use them wisely. Even simple actions like praying regularly, meditating daily, or being mindful in your work are forms of discipline that connect you closer to God. They remind you that life is sacred and every moment counts. Let's take an example from nature. Look at a river. Water on its own is powerful, but if it spreads everywhere without control, it becomes a flood that destroys. When it flows with discipline, channeled through a path, it becomes a river that gives life, nourishes fields, and sustains communities. Human energy is the same. Without discipline, it is wasted everywhere. With discipline, it flows with direction and creates wonders. One of the biggest misunderstandings people have about discipline is that it takes away joy. In reality, discipline multiplies joy. Imagine someone who spends money carelessly. For a moment, they feel happy when buying unnecessary things. But later, they feel regret when bills come and savings disappear. Now imagine someone disciplined with money. At first, it may feel hard to control spending. But later, that person feels the joy of financial freedom, the joy of security, the joy of peace. The same applies to health, studies, relationships, or spirituality. Discipline may feel like sacrifice in the short term, but in the long term, it is the foundation of lasting happiness. Discipline also teaches patience. Dreams are not achieved overnight. A farmer does not plant seeds today and eat fruits tomorrow. He waters the soil, waits for the sun, protects the crops, and trusts the process. In the same way, discipline teaches us to keep working, even when results are not visible immediately. It teaches us that consistency is more powerful than intensity. Small steps every day are better than big efforts once in a while. So, the truth is simply dreaming big is important, but without discipline, dreams fade. Discipline is not a punishment, It is the greatest act of self-love and self-respect. It is the promise you make to yourself that you will not betray your own potential. It is the bridge you must cross every day, step by step, to move from where you are to where you want to be. The world is full of dreamers, but only a few are disciplined enough to turn their dreams into reality. If you want your life to shine, build discipline. If you want your efforts to be meaningful, practice discipline. If you want to honor God's gift of life, live with discipline. Because in the end, discipline is the silent power that transforms vision into achievement, hope into success, and ordinary people into extraordinary examples. Life is not a straight road. It is full of curves, bumps, and unexpected turns. Sometimes, just when everything seems to be going right, a storm appears out of nowhere. You lose a job, you face failure, you struggle in relationships, or you fight with your own inner doubts. In those moments, it feels as if the ground beneath your feet is shaking and you are left with nothing but fear. But here lies the truth. Struggles are not meant to destroy you, they are meant to strengthen you. And the only way to truly walk through the fire without being burned inside is to hold faith in God. Faith does not mean that life will always be smooth. Faith means that no matter how rough the road becomes, you believe that God is walking with you. Think of a small child holding the hand of his parent while crossing a busy street. The child does not understand the traffic, does not know the dangers, and does not see what lies ahead. But the child walks confidently because he trusts the hand holding him. In the same way, life struggles are like a busy street, confusing and frightening. But when you place your hand in God's, you walk forward with courage, even if you don't see the full picture. Every struggle carries a lesson. If there were no hardships, we would never grow. Diamonds are made under extreme pressure, gold is purified in fire, and seeds must break in darkness before they sprout into plants. Likewise, our struggles are the pressure, the fire, and the darkness that prepare us for greatness. But here is the challenge. When you are in the middle of the storm, it's easy to forget that the sun will shine again. It's easy to give up, to complain, or to think that God has abandoned you. But faith whispers, hold on. This is not the end. This is the preparation. Think about people you admire. Behind every inspiring story is a struggle. A successful entrepreneur once faced failures and rejections. A strong leader once faced betrayal and criticism. A loving parent once faced sleepless nights and endless sacrifices. But what kept them going was not just their effort. It was their faith that their struggle was not meaningless. They believed that God had a plan, and that belief gave them the courage to continue when everything else seemed lost. In daily life, we all face small struggles. Maybe you work hard at your job, but your efforts go unnoticed. Maybe you study day and night, yet your grades are not what you expected. Maybe you give your best in relationships, but people fail to understand you. These struggles hurt. But instead of asking, why me? Shift the question to, what is God teaching me through this? That simple change of perspective turns pain into wisdom. Instead of being crushed by struggles, you start being shaped by them. Faith also gives peace during storms. Imagine two people in a storm at sea. One panics, screams, and loses hope. The other, though scared, closes his eyes and prays, believing that the boat will reach the shore. The difference is not the storm. The difference is faith. Both are in the same situation, but one is destroyed by fear and the other survives with strength. In your life too, storms will come. Faith doesn't stop the storm, but it calms the storm within you. And when you are calm, you think clearer, act wiser, and endure longer. It's important to remember that God never wastes your struggles. Every tear you cry, every pain you endure, every challenge you face is counted. Sometimes you won't see the reason immediately. Maybe years later, you will look back and realize that the struggle you hated was the very thing that built your strength, gave you wisdom, or opened a new door in life. Faith is trusting God even when you don't see the full picture, knowing that He sees the beginning, the middle, and the end. Take the example of a seed again. From the outside, burying a seed looks like the end. You cover it in dirt, push it into darkness, and leave it. But inside that dark soil, something beautiful is happening. The seed is breaking, changing, and growing roots that will one day hold a strong tree. Our struggles are like that soil. They feel dark and heavy, but within them, God is helping us grow roots of strength, patience, and resilience. Faith allows us to trust that even in the dark, something good is happening. Struggles also remind us of our dependence on God. When life is smooth, we often think we are in control. But when difficulties arrive, we realize how fragile we are. Faith teaches us humility. It teaches us that we need God, not just in times of weakness, but in every moment of our lives. Struggles strip away our illusions and bring us back to the reality that we are not alone and that divine strength is always available to those who seek it. So, the next time you face a struggle, don't see it as punishment. See it as a classroom. Every problem is a teacher, every difficulty a lesson, and every setback an opportunity to grow. And the greatest strength you can carry into that classroom is faith in God, because faith turns your wounds into wisdom, your tests into testimonies, and your trials into triumphs. Remember this: the struggle you are facing today may seem unbearable, but it could be the very thing shaping you for the future you dreamed of. Keep your faith alive. Work hard, endure patiently, and never forget that God is with you in every step. Struggles will come and go, but the strength you build through faith will stay with you forever.